If you need coins in FC25, lootbar.gg has you covered. They are the cheapest trading platform on the game, 8 to 10% cheaper than any others, 8% off if you use the code JT11 at the end at checkout, plus you get 5% extra on coins. With the fastest delivery system going, used by many FC25 creators such as Zorky, Manny Plus, and even Pro owners. So if you need any coins, head over to lootbar.gg, make sure JT11's in the promo code, and hopefully you enjoy. So we have a brand new evolution called Sprint Supreme. This is exactly what they were talking about when it came to evolutions, that even though you can have a max 84, they will not be upgraded. The only thing they need to fix is the fact that Koulibaly in this would not get 81 pace. So what they are doing, and this is exactly what they meant by the fact that we can upgrade stats but not go for an overall, which is going to be fantastic. So as you can see in the upgrades there, it says sprint speed and acceleration will both go up by a +10, and you'll get 78 between them. So that is the maximum. So for instance, if we go into this and we look at someone like Romero, if he was to get a +10, he goes up to 78, which is the max. If we was to choose, or 79 might be, no, 79 is the max, I think. Yeah, 79 would be the max because of the acceleration. So for instance, for Akanji, because he has 78 pace already, as we see from level 1, he gets no upgrade there. So it's 78 capped on your sprint speed, but he does get a +2 on his acceleration, taking that to 78. And the reason why he goes to 79 on the overall is because he already has 80 sprint speed. Now Koulibaly actually might do, if I'm being honest there, because he might have, for instance, Akanji should go up to 78 because he's not over. So if you had somebody with incredible sprint speed, say 86 for whatever reason, but their acceleration was 60, that would mean that the acceleration would go up still. So someone like Laporte doesn't have either. He's going to get a big upgrade to 65, just a +10. But if we do find somebody like, if we've got somebody that's got 78 already, that would be fantastic. Say someone like Danilo maybe. He's got 80 on the sprint speed. He should go up to 79 as well, because obviously he's got a decent amount there. If we was to look, what's Ben White got in fact, because he's normally a right wing, 75. Not quite 76, we've got 77, 76, but realistically the whole point was the fact that we are getting non-overall upgrades but stat upgrades. Something like Varane going up to 78, it doesn't then disqualify him from any other evolutions that doesn't require, like say, a max 82 overall. I'm a big fan of this. I think definitely get this on. It's one of them ones that I think you could just put in any player now. Like, for instance, someone like Romero, 84, good defending, good physical, just not quite got the pace. Maybe you kind of look at him like Akanji. It's like, why would I go for Romero when Akanji, very similar on everything, a little bit more physicality, obviously plays for City, but he has got the better pace. Now, if you've got, for instance, Romero in your team, it's a free upgrade, it's going to be a cracking one, and I'm assuring that there's going to be more cards than just what I've got in this ready. So if we was to go over to FUT.gg, we should hopefully have the evolution already. So we've got Martinez is going to be a great one. De Ligt's obviously there, very similar to Romero. We've got Engun. I've got her actually. I think the main reason why you'd want her is because of that Anchor? How have I lost what this is called? It's Intercept. Intercept Plus already. So obviously she's going to have a kind of a bigger advantage compared to pretty much most of these. There's literally not many of them have got a play style plus in them already. So let's have a look at some of the other cards then. So have we got Evolve players already? They are on it. So for instance, someone like this guy over here, has he got terrible? So so this makes sense. So obviously he's got his sprint speed at 84, so his acceleration would go up, meaning his pace in general goes up. So that's always a nice one to have a look at. So it's not necessarily, I thought to start with it was the pace max at 78, but it's actually the two stats. So both of them are maxed at 78. So if you do manage to get somebody who has got a better sprint speed or a better acceleration, they should go up in rating even more, which is very nice to see. Obviously he's going to be the top in rating there for 84. We've obviously got De Ligt. If we have a look at the Prem first, They are normally what people are going to be looking at, especially at the starter squad level. It's just what a lot of people do. They've done it for absolutely years. Konate is going to be a great one in here. He's already a very metaphor player. He's coming in at a good price. Obviously, the evolutions are going to be massive for him. We've got Konza coming in at 81 pace. Not terrible. Van de Ven, oh my. So has he got lower acceleration then? No. So why on earth would you do Van de Ven? I mean, I suppose you're not actually doing him. It's just the fact that you can do him, I suppose. So that's the point. There's no actual requirements other than an 84 and a centre-back. So I suppose even if you wanted, you could put him into an evolution, but it just wouldn't give him anything. So if you get what I mean, it makes zero sense in terms of actually doing it, but if you wanted him into an evolution, you could as such. I was going to say, he's got 88 pace. There is no way that he can go in there. Obviously, it can be left backs as well that can play centre back, which is going to be nice. You've obviously got Guehi there as well. I think in terms of the Prem, I'd be looking Konza with a couple of evolutions. You're obviously stringing a few on. I think you'd be looking at Romero, looking at De Ligt. Martinez maybe not as much. I think definitely with these two, mainly Martinez, unfortunately, will be the height. Gravadal, not terrible if you're looking for a left back. Konate is going to be a great shout there. Gomez has already got a considerable amount of pace. I'm pretty sure he's already up there. 72, so that's going into the club members reward. So, I mean, he could go into it first, I suppose. He's obviously got 75, so technically you'd go in. What would that make it to? 75, so he gets an overall upgrade, and then he goes into club members. But if you wanted to go Sprint Supreme, if you put him in the club members, he gets 79, so there's no point putting him into that Sprint Supreme then. So it is playing it smart now. This is going to be the big factor with linking evolutions, that you could put him into this one, and then this one. But obviously, like for instance with a Sprint Supreme, you've got to maybe do it first and then put him into this, because obviously he's not going to get the upgrade anyway. Whereas obviously this one could be dependent on a certain skill as well. So there is a lot of factors going in here. If we're kind of looking at the rest of them then, other players that are available for the upgrade, obviously you're looking at this guy up here. If you can go with all of the evolutions, Akanji's never a bad shout, to be honest. You might as well just get it up a little bit, but I would say that might be a little bit of a waste depending on who you're doing. If we go a bit further down, Danilo, great shout as always, especially because that one's going up a double upgrade as well. I think Akanji manages to, not Akanji, Ake gets a couple of stats, but again, it's not going to be crazy. Nacho Fernandez up to 80. We then have Kim Min-jae. Where has he gone now? He has just lost everything. He had a good rating last year. Now at an 83, we'll get the full upgrade, which is nice. So again, if you're looking at a Bundesliga team, not a bad shout. Tomore definitely doesn't get an upgrade there. Lucas Hernandez, always good for the League 1. Simikan, I'm sure he will get a bit of an upgrade as well. I'm a big fan. I like this as a starting one. I'm just hoping they give us quite a lot of these evolutions, but it will be interesting to see where it kind of goes. Obviously, with this as well, the kind of good factor that we've got with these evolutions is the fact we can play rush matches. So obviously, you've got win 3, play 5, win 4, play 5. That's going to be pretty simple in rush. So if you want to get a few more of them objectives done, that's going to be perfect. The only thing that you've always got to consider with all this is the fact that there will be certain requirements in rush until we get kind of like that open rush mode. It is dependent. So if we were to have a look quickly, actually, I'm pretty sure at this moment in time, we don't actually have one we could utilize. You got max 79 and then max 74. So there isn't actually anything we could do if we was to pick one of these big boys in there. Looking a bit further down the list, Meccano, 82. What has he got then? No, he wouldn't be able to go in this. Oh, no, I mean, you get a slight upgrade on acceleration. Nothing crazy if you was going for it. I don't think it would be worth it on its own, to be honest. You kind of, getting 78, 85. I mean, if you're running a French Bundesliga team, it might be not bad, but I would say possibly leave that one out, if I'm being honest with him. If we go a bit further down, Luke Shaw's obviously there. Again, it's nice for the upgrade for him. Joe Gomez, I think, pretty much has more pace anyway. And plus, he'll be able to go in plenty of other evolutions as well. Mukiele, not a bad shout if you're going for it. Varane's not a terrible shout, but it all depends on the team you're building. I think mainly to start with, the Prem is the easiest one to go with because there's just so many of these kind of low cards. The tiers just go crazy with it. So I personally would definitely focus more on the Prem for the evolutions. Kimpembe, not a bad one there, to be honest. Good physical and defending as well. As we go further down, Busquets will eventually, if we can do this 4 or 5 times, he'll eventually get up there. But it is nice because these sort of cards that maybe don't get the full upgrade, maybe they get an inform but don't get enough pace upgrade, this could be what solves them, to be honest. So it is an interesting one going forward. Now they are doing what they said they would in terms of reshaping these evolutions with cosmetics, with singular upgrades rather than actual overalls. I'm a big fan. I think it works. So for me, I would possibly be looking at, I'd probably definitely go Prem. I think if I had all of them already, I think for myself, I would probably go, I'd say De Ligt for Man U, just to build a Man U team. Obviously, he's going to get more cards than that. Martinez I could see with a couple of cards. Romero definitely didn't get as many last year, so he could be a big shout. I think for me, he would be one of the better ones to get, as De Ligt is still not at that 78 pace. He has to get to 72 just because I think they gave him terrible pace to begin with. Only 62 is just crazy, so it does rectify it a little bit, but I do think with De Ligt, he's more than likely going to get an upgrade at some point soon. Ben White, never a bad shout if you're looking at a right back. I think for me, he's going to be perfect there. Akanji's not enough of an upgrade. Aki's very similar. Konza can go into many, so that depends on what you want from him personally, but he can go into many. And then obviously you've got the likes of Konate. He's going to be one of the better shouts. I think price-wise, Konate is going to be number 1 there because he's already going to be in the teams. Obviously is at a little bit of a more price, but the problem again is like De Ligt, I can see him with an upgrade very soon as well. So it's playing that field and making sure that you're not going to get a card that 2 days later we get a UCL of De Ligt. No, maybe not. A UCL of kind of like a Gravadal and Aki Akanji. Obviously, that is the next promo coming, so you got to make sure you are playing it smart. So let me know down below if there's any you're going for. It's going to, again, be a perfect one if you're just building an Evolution Road to Glory. This year could be one of the best years for an Evolution Road to Glory, honestly. It is going to be absolutely nuts. So let me know down below how you're getting on with it, and I will catch you all for the next one. Peace.